Imagine a region so rich in natural resources that it could be the envy of the world. A land where gold, coltan, and tin lie beneath the soil, waiting to be unearthed. But instead of prosperity, this region has become a battleground. A place where armed groups fight for control, where civilians live in constant fear, and where the echoes of past conflicts still reverberate. This is the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, and at the center of this chaos is a rebel group known as the M23. But who are they? What do they want? And why has this conflict dragged on for so long? Today we're going to dive deep into the origins, objectives, and key players behind the M23. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just the what, but the why behind one of Africa's most complex and enduring conflicts. To understand the M23, we have to go back in time. The roots of this conflict stretch back to the 1994 Rwandan genocide, where over 800,000 people were brutally killed in just 100 days. The aftermath of this genocide sent shockwaves across the region, particularly into the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Why? Because many of the perpetrators of the genocide fled into the DRC, bringing with them a cycle of violence and retribution. This set the stage for the First and Second Congo Wars, which lasted from 1996 to 2003. These wars were not just local conflicts. They involved multiple African nations, armed groups, and even international actors, all vying for control over the DRC's vast resources. But here's the question. How did these wars pave the way for the rise of the M23? Let's break it down. In 2006, a rebel group called the National Congress for the Defense of the People, or CNDP, emerged. Led by Laurent Nkunda, a Congolese Tutsi leader, the CNDP claimed to protect the Tutsi minority in the DRC, who faced persecution and marginalization. But here's the twist. The CNDP was accused of receiving support from Rwanda. Why would Rwanda support a rebel group in another country? The answer lies in ethnic ties and security concerns. Rwanda has a significant Tutsi population, and many Rwandan Tutsis have family connections in the DRC. For Rwanda, supporting the CNDP was a way to protect its interests and maintain influence in the region. But in 2009, something unexpected happened. The CNDP signed a peace agreement with the Congolese government, leading to its integration into the Congolese Armed Forces, the FARDC. Sounds like a happy ending, right? Not quite. The integration of the CNDP into the FARDC was fraught with tension. Many former CNDP members felt betrayed by the government's failure to address their grievances. They believed the 2009 peace agreement was a sham, and their frustrations boiled over. This brings us to 2012, when a new rebel group emerged, the M23. Named after the failed peace agreement of March 23, 2009, the M23 was essentially a reincarnation of the CNDP. But what did they want, and how did they plan to achieve it? The M23's stated objectives have evolved over time, but their core demands have remained consistent. Let's take a closer look. 1. Political representation and power sharing. The M23 has called for greater political representation for the Tutsi community and other marginalized groups in the DRC. They want a seat at the table, both nationally and locally. 2. Implementation of the 2009 peace agreement. The group claims that the Congolese government failed to honor the terms of the 2009 agreement, which included the integration of CNDP fighters into the FARDC and the resolution of ethnic tensions. 3. Security and protection of civilians. The M23 has positioned itself as a protector of civilians, particularly the Tutsi community, against other armed groups and government forces. But here's the irony. Their actions have often resulted in widespread human rights abuses. 4. Control of natural resources. The eastern DRC is rich in minerals like gold, coltan, and tin. Control over these resources has been a significant driver of the conflict, and the M23 has been accused of exploiting them to fund its activities. 5. Autonomy or secession. Some factions within the M23 have advocated for greater autonomy or even secession for the eastern regions of the DRC, citing decades of neglect and exploitation by the central government. But here's the big question. Are these objectives genuine, or are they just a cover for something else? Let's dig deeper. The M23 is not a monolithic entity. It's a coalition of various actors with differing agendas. Let's meet some of the key players. 1. Sultani Makenga, a former FARDC colonel and one of the most prominent leaders of the M23. Makenga has been accused of orchestrating numerous attacks and human rights violations. 2. Bosco Ntaganda, known as the Terminator, Ntaganda was a key figure in the M23 and the CNDP before his arrest in 2013. He was convicted by the International Criminal Court for war crimes and crimes against humanity. 3. Jean-Marie Runiga-Lugarero, the political leader of M23 during its early stages. Internal conflicts led to a split within the group, with Runiga aligning himself with Bosco Ntaganda. 4. Corneille Nangaa, formerly the head of the DRC's Independent National Electoral Commission, Nangaa transitioned into a rebel leader by establishing the Congo River Alliance, with M23 as its military wing. But it's not just about the leaders. The M23 has received support from Congolese politicians, particularly those from the Tutsi community, who feel marginalized by the central government. And then there's the regional and international dimension. Rwanda and Uganda have been accused of supporting the M23. Rwanda denies these allegations, but numerous reports by the United Nations and human rights organizations have documented its involvement. Uganda's role has also come under scrutiny. Why would these countries support a rebel group in the DRC? The answer lies in their strategic interests, including access to the DRC's natural resources and security concerns. But here's the kicker. The M23 has also been able to sustain its operations through the illicit trade of minerals, which are smuggled out of the Democratic Republic of Congo and sold on international markets. This trade involves a network of local and international actors, including multinational corporations. So what does this mean for the people of the DRC? Let's talk about the human cost. The M23 has been implicated in numerous human rights abuses, including massacres, sexual violence, and the recruitment of child soldiers. These actions have drawn widespread condemnation from the international community. The United Nations has deployed a peacekeeping mission in the DRC, known as MONUSCO, to stabilize the region and protect civilians. The International Criminal Court has prosecuted several M23 leaders, including Bosco Ntaganda, for war crimes and crimes against humanity. But despite these efforts, the conflict continues. As of January 2025, the M23 has escalated its activities, capturing key towns and even the city of Goma, the capital of North Kivu province. This has led to significant civilian displacement and a deepening humanitarian crisis. So what's next? The future of the M23 and the stability of the eastern DRC will depend on several factors. 1. Regional cooperation. Addressing the conflict requires enhanced collaboration among the DRC, Rwanda, Uganda, and other regional actors. 2. Political reforms. The Congolese government must address the grievances of marginalized communities and implement meaningful political reforms. 3. International support. The international community should continue to provide humanitarian assistance, support peace-building efforts, and hold perpetrators of human rights abuses accountable. The M23 insurgency is a manifestation of deep-rooted conflicts and geopolitical rivalries that have afflicted the Great Lakes region for decades. While the group claims to seek political representation in the protection of civilians, its actions have often resulted in violence and suffering. Addressing the root causes of the conflict necessitates a comprehensive approach that combines military, political, and diplomatic efforts. Only through sustained commitment and cooperation can the region hope to achieve lasting peace and stability. The story of the M23 is a reminder that conflicts are rarely simple. They are shaped by history, driven by greed, and sustained by fear. But they are also shaped by people. People who have the power to choose peace over war, unity over division, and hope over despair. So what role can we play in supporting peace in the DRC? That's a question worth asking. Because in the end, the future of the Congo and the world depends on the choices we make today. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe. Together we can shine a light on the stories that matter.